Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. I wanted to start off happy, but I think you all saw what happened yesterday. Can you believe it? In Brooklyn yesterday. Before we get into it, we do want to give a warning to our viewers. Some of these videos and images are graphic. Video from the scene shows people rushing to get off a subway car after a man in a construction vest and gas mask set off 2 smoke grenades. Police then say he pulled out a gun and started shooting randomly at commuters during the morning rush hour, firing 33 times. At least 23 people were injured, 5 of them critically. One of the survivors was on CNN last night from his hospital bed. He spoke about what it was like to be on that subway. Take a look.
The guy is next to me, but I didn't get a glimpse of his face, and all you see is like a black smoke bomb going off, and then people bum rushing to the back. This pregnant woman was in front of me. I was trying to help her. I didn't know there were shots at first. I just thought it was a black smoke bomb. She said, "I'm pregnant with a baby." I hugged her, and then the bum rush continued. I got pushed, and that's when I got shot in the back of my knee. I'm still shocked, and I'm shaking. I don't even know how I'm holding my phone. I don't think I could ever ride a train again.
All right, I just want to get your takes about what you first thought when you saw it and heard about it, and then we'll go into a little bit deeper. But what was your first thought, Linz, when you saw that video and those pictures?
Well, I'm from New York,
Yeah.
so, I rode
You're
the
native.
subway as a kid. I rode the subway as early as like 16 by myself and Long Island Railroad. And so there's an increased number of incidents that have been happening, but I was like trying not to subscribe to it. Like, okay, we're just highlighting these incidents. The trains are still safe. My dad was a locomotive engineer for the train for his entire career.
Wow.
So I never was scared to travel by myself. And now is the first time that I'm actually like, wow, this is really scary. Like, I don't know if that I want to step foot in a subway, or when Kinsley's 16, tell her to get on the train as freely as I did. Because not only are we seeing more shootings, we're seeing people getting hurt or affected in the subway stations. Like, I know there were people who threw feces at somebody recently, and there's like a lot of incidents that have happened recently that are really disturbing. And so it's scary because you want to travel freely, and a lot of people honestly do not have the money to taxi around or Uber around the most expensive or one of the most expensive cities in the world. So it's just frustrating because I don't know how New York City is going to combat this. One thing they said is that they're going to try to put more officers per station, but the fact that those cameras weren't working and we really don't have that many answers right now is really disheartening.
Yeah, I just want to jump on what you said. There's been a 73% jump, 73% jump in transit station crimes compared to last year. What did you think when you saw that? 73% is enormous.
Yeah, that's substantial. I think on top of all of the victims of yesterday's tragedy, it's also an assault on people's way of life.
Yeah.
As Lindsay brought up, a lot of people depend on public transportation in order to get to their jobs and feed their families. There's no alternative, and the idea that people are being, terrorized into not feeling like their everyday life is a safe place to be is extremely problematic. I think when we talk about how people are engaging, even on social media where you're not like face to face, it's no shock that incidents of violence and terrorism are going up because people are outside of their minds. Like, I don't know, if the pandemic or lockdown or all of these things contributed to something that was already very much on surface level, already brewing, but I'm definitely seeing far more aggressive behaviors and outwardly violent behavior.
Yeah, and again, I always talk about that social fabric that we all kind of just held together as a common way of courtesy. That seems to be fraying everywhere, and that terrorizes you because you can go nowhere. I mean, that's really the work.
It's kind of confusing because we talk about the plane a lot and how the incidents have risen and people are just acting a fool on the plane.
Yeah.
And we all were sitting up here like puzzled. Like, how can you have lost all your common decency and couth over 2 years?
Yeah.
Even though it was a hard 2 years. So this is just like an extreme level because obviously there's way more security to get onto a plane than to get onto the train. There's actually barely any
little,
security. You just walk in freely. There's a lot of different people people around there. So I don't know how they're going to protect people, but we have to figure out a way to protect people. And there's no other way, like you said, to get around.
And as you said, too, the cameras that were there were not working. The cops that were there were not there. There were no police in that subway station. And the cops' radio, when they did arrive, didn't work. So I know a lot of people are paying a lot of money in taxes and metro fares, and I think it should be found out where that money is going. A lot of people were left stranded trying to get to work after the shooting, and traffic in the area was gridlocked. So a lot of people turned to ride sharing services like Uber, Lyft, right? But get this, the company started surge pricing in the area around the shooting. Some fares were reportedly up by 24%. Social media lit up with customers who were furious, and in response, both companies said they stopped the price hikes and promised to refund passengers who were overcharged. I hate to say this, but they kind of need a shooting button, a mass shooting button, so it doesn't surge like that, because there's a reason for that. I feel like it did it automatically because everyone was getting an Uber, and now we have to include that in their algorithm.
I mean, Uber and Lyft have an enormous staff that monitors things like why prices surge, when we can make prices go up. And so I think they have enough of the staffing to figure out, when, maybe to stop doing this altogether, to figure out what's a fair price, who's really using these apps, when it might be an emergency, and not rely on tweets to guide your principles of business.
Your philosophy, yeah.
Right. So I think that they could have done way better. This is not the only situation. I mean, I'm sure there's been people running out of concerts trying to get places, and Uber has always gone up. It's just like, okay, a lot of Ubers called, let's make it even harder for people to get home. That's not a good philosophy anyway.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, and I think of Uber more as the actual people who are driving and less as the corporation, because I Uber a lot. My husband and I have one car that we share, and I have a lot of conversations with Uber drivers, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but it's very difficult to get Ubers right now because they aren't getting paid or Lyfts, they're not getting paid a fair wage. So the idea of the surge, yes, that's problematic, especially in a situation like this, but the real conversation is, where is this money going that the drivers are resorting to other things as opposed to driving because they aren't getting a fair wage? So it's a bigger problem, but I can also see like drivers are incentivized to get out and drive when there's more money to be made.
It's interesting. Is it Uber or the people who make Uber? You're totally right. How do you see it? Really interesting. All right, coming up on DBL, the fabulous Jane Seymour. She gives us her take on aging in the acting industry. Also, explosive abuse claims in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Does Johnny's reputation depend on the outcome?
Closed captioning provided by
This April, connect with Al, Lindsay, Erica, Jeff, and Tori.
This is gonna be a good one.
Real conversations are on DBL.
I tried to contain myself. I wanted to scream it out loud.
DBL, all new every day.
So we just got into a conversation about rideshare services and the idea of it being a fair balance, and it really is a supply and demand thing. But I'm curious if any of you out there do drive for rideshares, what you're receiving. I took an Uber to the airport last week, and the guy was telling me, because it took 35 minutes to get an Uber at all, and I was trying everything. It took me 10 minutes just to even connect, because that's how flooded the system is, because so many people have decided it's not even worth it. And he basically got, so let's say the ride was $100, he got like 60 of that $100. So there is a system there where it's like, are they making enough? And $60 is a lot for a ride, obviously. It was a surge, it was a black, and then it was something else. So it was a much more expensive ride. But if you're taking like a $15 Uber and your driver is getting $4, is that worth getting out of bed in the morning?
Right, and also I was just doing a tutorial today. I'm going to do it on unionizing. And Starbucks, Amazon, you're starting to see the very beginning of unionizing. And Uber, especially, not as much Lyft, has had a real issue with fairness to their drivers, and also feeling like they have a bargaining collective as a group of Uber drivers to speak to the corporation, right? And I wonder if we're going to start to see a lot more from young people, specific unions that start for Uber, because at this point, the drivers, as Erica said, and I know a ton of actors that all do Uber or Lyft, it's it's almost like wage mismanagement and there's no way to fight back. So a union is one way to do it. And if you're interested, you could watch my tutorial on the first Amazon one that started April 1st by Chris Smalls in Staten Island. Welcome back. Johnny Depp is back in court for day 3 of his trial against ex-Amber Heard, and it's all being broadcast live on Court TV. Johnny is suing her for $50 million over an op-ed she wrote. A long time ago, she claimed to be a victim of domestic violence, but never mentioned Johnny Depp's name. Now, in opening statements yesterday, her lawyer said Johnny is to blame for his own public downfall. Watch.
You're going to see who that man really is. Amber is going to tell you about it. You're going to hear who he really is from other witnesses. And you're going to hear who he really is in his own words, in the vile, graphic, terrible messages that he wrote about Amber and ways he used to describe Amber and what he wanted to do to Amber.
Meantime, Johnny's lawyer said that Amber was the abuser in their marriage. Take a look at this.
She would berate him, scream at him. He would try to appease her, and sometimes, just sometimes, things would get better. But it would always happen again.
Johnny's sister also took the stand and said Johnny used to hide from their abusive mother, and that when Johnny traveled with Amber, he would also get a separate hotel room to hide in if he and Amber started to fight. I can't believe this is all being broadcast live on Court TV. This is a big, complicated mess, y'all. Real big, but do you think it's going to ruin Johnny Depp's reputation? Do you think it'll affect it at all? What do you guys think about this enormous mess? Silence.
This just gives me, I mean, it really, this makes me so uncomfortable.
I know.
So uncomfortable. There are so many people who are in, volatile relationships, and I don't even pretend to know all of the reasons and the nuance and all of the things behind it. But I'm looking at these two people who were so celebrated for such a long time, and they look like they've destroyed each other.
Defeated each other.
They look like,
agree.
And it brings me back to that time in my life when I was getting a divorce, and we looked at each other and said, let's not ruin each other.
Wow.
Like, let's not destroy each other.
A conscious choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it gets, all's fair in love and war, and that just, oof.
It's bad. I have a hard time with claiming defamation when she never mentioned his name. To me, you got to slander someone, especially a public figure. You got to say their name.
I mean, their relationship was really public, so
Yeah.
I think I would disagree if somebody
That's
says,
the
well, the
lawyers.
person I spent a lot of time with did X, Y, Z. I just don't even see, like you were saying, I look at him and I'm like, when was the relationship good? Because I'm listening to the stories and I'm like, this is like so terrible. And even looking at Amber's face as she sat there, it was like very just straight, like no emotion whatsoever.
Flat
Even
affect.
looking at Johnny Depp's face, it's like, they both were just like hate each other almost. And to hear all these stories, it's unfortunate that both of them maybe allegedly were dealing with domestic violence in their own ways, and they felt like they had to publicly share this on many levels, and then in court, now the world to see as this plays out, who's right and who's wrong according to the court.
It's so weird.
It's a weird place to be in for somebody that you said, I do want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think he would ever be back to where Johnny Depp was, like Captain Jack Sparrow level, or has this damaged him a bit?
I think that's why we're seeing this.
Yeah, he's trying to get back.
Because there seems to be some, punitive damages.
Yeah, financial dip. Yeah, interesting. All right, coming up on DBL, make sure you write us in too on YouTube and the app. Tell us what you think about this. Our interview with Jane Seymour. We found out how she ended up in Wedding Crashers.
I've never really.
Diamond sales soared during the pandemic, according to diamond company De Beers. To help save on some costs, shoppers are turning to synthetic or lab-grown diamonds to save money compared to natural diamonds. Verified viewer Mary emailed us to ask, is there any way to tell the difference between synthetic and natural diamonds? So, let's verify. Our sources are synthetic diamond maker Alter, Mike Freed, CEO of The Diamond Pro, and James Shigley, a research scientist with the Gemological Institute of America. In the past, people turned to materials like cubic zirconia to get jewelry that looks like a diamond at a significant savings. Freed says in the last 5 years, the cost of synthetic diamonds decreased and is now making them a popular alternative. A natural diamond is formed deep in the earth at high temperatures and pressures over long periods of time and then mined. Synthetic diamonds are created in a lab that replicates the natural process in a matter of weeks. Both are diamonds with almost no differences that a person could see with their eye. Although Alter says on its website, the industry is bound by law and ethics to disclose whether a diamond is lab-grown or earth-mined.
If you look at them side by side, nothing. Even if I look at them side by side, next to nothing, and it would require sophisticated equipment in a laboratory to detect the difference between the two.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, according to the GIA, so long as the consumer knows what they're buying. Shigley says reputable jewelers have equipment that can quickly tell the difference. So, yes, there is a way between synthetic and natural diamonds, although you'll need specialized equipment to do so. It's nearly impossible for an average consumer to spot the difference with their naked eye. With Your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Hey guys, we had an amazing interview with Jane Seymour. She spoke to us about aging, about wedding crashers, about it all. Take a look.
Jane, you look fantastic. You turned 71 in February, and let's be honest, you are ageless. How do you continue to look so beautiful and just present yourself with just such positive white energy? Is that too metaphysical? Wow.
That's going to be cut up and put on certain websites.
Oh, yeah, we don't, okay. Yeah, I mean positive energy.
Positive. You know, I think we have good skin. You have good health. I grow all my own vegetables organically. I eat eggs from my little baby chickens that are in my garden. I work out. I do Pilates, gyrotonics.
Dang.
There I am. Gyrotonics. I know I should never post that video. Oh, that was when I went to the Oscars.
Wow.
Not the Oscars, the Elton party. I think I'm very involved with life. You know, every day I get up and there's something I feel I can do to make a difference.
You've been very open about not getting plastic surgery, and recently there was some shade thrown at you from Joan Collins, who said you aren't the only one to avoid the knife. What are your thoughts on what she said? Are you guys in now a huge fight? Talk to me.
No, I mean, first of all, I apologize, officially to anyone out there that feels that I have said something wrong. What happens is when you're doing a lot of shows where you're playing 85, which I have been, or 70 or whatever, and they are trying to add wrinkles to you, that's the only reason that the question ever came about. And Joan Collins is a natural beauty. It always has been. And I'm sorry, I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or say that I'm anything better than anyone else, because I'm not. I just choose, I have nothing wrong with plastic surgery. I just have chosen for myself to allow the wrinkles to be there because I'm using them. They're very handy.
I mean, I tried to get plastic surgery. They turned me away.
You're too gorgeous. He's too gorgeous.
Too beautiful.
Oh, you know what? So I'll make it clear. I did do wedding crashes, and I heard you talking about that. And when somebody asked me, have you ever had, your boobs done? I went, yeah, I did. Well, you've got to tell the truth. So I have never denied that, and I think I had bulgy eyes, so I had that done, 30-something years ago. So I've always been pretty honest about all this stuff.
We appreciate that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love being honest. So speaking of Wedding Crashers, it's one of my favorite movies. Whenever I need a good laugh, I put that on. And your role is so underrated. You're fantastic in that movie. We were just doing your parts between, I don't know if they're appropriate for television, but we were doing them around the studio. But I read online, tell me if this is true, that you got that job because you were a Bond girl back in the day. Is that correct? Did I read that right?
Not quite.
Okay.
But I think what was
all right.
when I came in and I had to audition, and I don't think I've ever hardly auditioned in my life because I got the Bond film without even auditioning. I mean, I was 20 then. So anyway, I auditioned, and then afterwards, the director and producer were very young. They said, "Oh my God, and you were a Bond girl." Like, that's what we saw you. And I kept thinking, gosh, I've been working for about 45 years since then. What did they think I was doing? Like, sitting around to be discovered as a Bond girl? So, no, it was just, the problem with British humor is, sometimes it's self-deprecating and sarcastic. So.
Hey, I love that. And you were fantastic. And there was a Bond story in there, so I win.
There was. You were right, yes.
All right, all right.
I am now referred to as the lady.
You said it, not me.
All right. There goes my Instagram handle.
I saw Owen Wilson just the other day, and I said, "Owen, do you know what you've done to my career? I mean, that's it. That's it." From Bond girl to that.
Good for you.
Well, let's stay on the topic of your career because obviously you have a new show, Harry Wild, where you would play a professor turned detective. What do you like about this role? And honestly, do you think you could solve a real crime? Because I don't think there's anything you can't do.
I think being an actress is quite useful because you're very observant and you kind of feel empathy and stuff. You can actually suss out people a little bit. That's part of what we do, you know, for a living. But Harry Wild is a fantastic character. She was a professor of English literature who just realizes most of the students are getting high and drunk and don't want to show up. They're at parties instead. And she just doesn't know what she's going to do. And she inadvertently becomes a detective.
Harry Wild, everybody, is streaming right now on Acorn TV with new episodes premiering on Mondays this month. And you can visit acorn.tv to subscribe. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate
you so much. Thank you. Amazing.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Bye.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
2021 was the first full year that we've been in the pandemic, and we're getting a lot of questions about tax write-offs. First is about the cost of masks and other personal protective equipment that health officials in some states still require. So let's verify. Is PPE tax deductible? Our sources are the Internal Revenue Service and accounting firm Cherry Beckert LLP. Taxpayers have historically received a deduction for medical expenses. These are things like doctor's visits or medication that aren't covered by health insurance. The IRS says that also includes PPE like masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer. So we can verify PPE is tax deductible, but Cherry Beckert says there's a catch. Existing IRS rules require medical expenses exceed 7.5% of your adjusted gross income to qualify, so the deduction won't apply to everyone. Some people have been stocking up on PPE as they get ready to return to the office, but many are still working from home. We've received some questions about whether you can write off some of the expense of having a home office. So let's verify. Can employees write off a home office? Our sources are the IRS and accounting firm Maxwell, Locke & Ritter. The government used to allow everyone to take a home office deduction if they have the setup. That changed in 2017 when Congress passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. It was intended to simplify the process of doing taxes, and that meant limiting, among other things, who can take the home office deduction. The IRS warns only self-employed people, independent contractors, and people working in the gig economy now qualify. Basically, Maxwell, Locke & Ritter explains, if you get a W-2, then you don't get the deduction. So it's false that employees can write off a home office on their taxes, although self-employed people or contractors still can. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Food shortages are coming. The president insists, quote, it's going to be real. So is the conflict overseas causing a food shortage in the U.S.? Our sources are the National Grocers Association, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and Marty Parker, a supply chain expert at the University of Georgia. The National Grocers Association tells us there are many reasons for the occasional shortage of some items, an issue that began during the pandemic. Some of these reasons include labor shortages and a lack of truck drivers. The association says while there is plenty of food in the supply chain, those sporadic pandemic-related disruptions will continue. The war in Ukraine is most likely to impact wheat and fertilizer products. The FDA says they don't expect a shortage here because the U.S. is a major producer of key items like wheat. Parker believes while there's not a shortage now, one could be on the horizon.
Ukraine and Russia are called the breadbasket of Europe. So they make, I think it's like 30–40% of the world's wheat. A lot of different experts are saying it's coming. Food shortages, especially wheat and fed and related products. So my guess would be probably about 2 to 3 months out.
Can Can you believe Mother's Day is less than a month away? Wait, what? In case you needed a reminder, Mother's Day is May 8th this year, and we've got some gorgeous jewelry for the lovely lady in your life. Check it out. It's time to start thinking about Mother's Day. And Steph, you are our price wizard. So tell me, what do you have for us today?
Hi, Tori, and hello, DBL Nation. You are right, Tori. Mother's Day is May the 8th this year, and it's time to start shopping for the special lady in your life. And you know, I've got some incredible deals for exactly what the woman in your life want. Jewelry. Yay! So first up, we've got Diamond Muse 1/4 carat TW Diamond Heart toggle bracelet in sterling silver. So this deal includes one bracelet. Look at this.
Oh, I like that.
So beautiful. So you can wear your heart on your sleeve quite literally with this stunning piece from Diamond Muse. So this bracelet features 1/4 carat of round diamonds.
Wow.
The heart detail just dazzles as it delicately dangles from your wrist, and is made of genuine sterling silver and has got a polished finish. Normally it's $199, but we've got this just for you guys for only $79, which saves you all 60%.
Guys, be the favorite child.
Yes.
Get this for mom. And also, summer's coming up. A lot more jewelry, a lot more dangles. This is fantastic.
And Tori, we've got Super Jeweler 1 carat moissanite necklace or earrings in solid 14 karat gold.
Oh, nice.
So this deal includes one necklace or one pair of earrings. Both styles are available in white gold or yellow gold. And you may have seen a lot of talk about moissanite stones, but what are they really? Well, I can tell you that these gems look remarkably similar to diamonds. Both pieces feature round moissanite and 14 karat gold.
Wow.
So normally they're between $300 to $500, but right now we've got them for only $149, which is saving everyone up to 70%.
Wow. Good pricing, good products. Head on over to StellaCarmina.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit StellaCarmina.com right on your smartphone. Steph, thank you so much. This is such a well-curated grouping of gifts. Thanks, Steph. All right, we actually got a comment in from, I want to say this right, N-Pre, who wrote in after we asked, did anyone work for Uber and how they felt? And says, I do Uber, and you are absolutely right. The pay is very low, but yet they are charging customers extremely high prices, and they are pocketing the money. I wonder if unionization will be happening at Uber soon, much like Amazon.
Yeah, I remember that LA gave them some pushback, so maybe other cities will get together and give them a little bit of run for their money.
Yeah, numbers are important. Get together. Bargain collective, guys. That's important. DBL is new every day. We will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Remember, we're all facing invisible burdens, so be good to yourself and to others. We are so grateful you joined us today. Thanks, guys.